It's section R.1, talks about graphs and equations. So basically what I'm going to do here in this section is to recall how to graph a straight line. If you're given a straight line, how to graph it. And the other thing is talk about a formula or an equation. This formula is for the compounded interest formula. How do we use it? How do we calculate stuff within this one? So the graphing is straight lines first. That's the first thing. How to graph a straight line. Straight lines are given in the form y equals mx plus b, like that. Y equals mx plus b. And they can be written in different forms. M is called the slope of the line. B is the y-intercept. B is the y-intercept. So how do we graph straight lines? Let's say we are asked to graph y equals 2x plus 1. Okay, so the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is 1. There's so many ways to graph this. One way is to pick points, like to select values of x and get the corresponding y values. Usually for straight lines, we recommend 3 points. So for example, x equals 0. If you plug in x equals 0, y would be what? 2 times 0, 0 plus 1, 1. If you substitute x equals 1, 2 times 1, 2 plus 1, 3. If you substitute 2, what do you get? 4 plus 1, 5. 3 points are more than enough to graph a straight line. That's one way to graph it, and I'll show you another way in a minute. So I have 0, 1, that's one of the points. 1, comma 3 is another point. 2, comma 5, somewhere here, a third point. And we can simply connect them. When graphing a straight line, always label the arrows, the origin, the x-axis, y-axis. That's one way to graph it. Next thing we do is I'm gonna graph it again. Using a different method, and you can use either one of them. So another way to graph this, let me rewrite it again, 2x plus 1. Watch this, I like this method, it's easier in this case. Y-intercept is 1, so 1 goes there. And what we have, the slope is 2. 2 means 2 over 1. And remember, the slope is rise over run. If you remember, rise over run. So the rise, think about the rise as 2. So from that point, you go up 2 steps. If it was negative 2, you go down 2 steps. So rise up and down. The run is 1. Run means to the right or to the left. Because it's positive, you go to the right one. So then you connect these dots together. And that's how it goes. Any questions about this? Is it easy? I'm going to give another one, -1/2 x plus 2. We're going to graph this one using the second method. We always start with the y-intercept, which is positive 2. So 2 steps up, like that. And then we have the slope, which is -1/2. So the top is negative, so you're going to go down 1. And the run is 2. So 2 steps to the right side. Connect them. Notice for the first one, I'm going to scroll back up. The slope was 2, which is positive. That's why the line was going up. The next one, the slope is negative. That's why the line was going down. So the slope tells you if it's going up or down. How about if they ask us to graph 2x plus 3y equals 6? There's so many ways to do this. You can go ahead and like substitute x0 and get the y, take y0, substitute, get the x. The other way to do this is to simply solve for y by subtracting 2x on both sides. So 3y is negative 2x plus 6. Then we can divide each one of them by 3, and by 3. So y would equal to negative 2/3 x plus 2. So I rewrote it first in the slope-intercept form. That's called slope-intercept form. And I'm going to try to graph it now. Try to graph it. So the easiest way is the method I showed you earlier by starting with the y-intercept 2. That's what it is. Negative 2 means 2 down. 2 down. And 3 to the right. 1, 2, and 3. Connect the 2 points. Any questions about this? That's how we graph straight lines. We could be asked to graph something else. Let's say like a parabola. Let's say x squared plus 1. You know, graph something like this. How do we graph them? In this case, we don't have a slope. You know, those look like a U shape. In this case, we can pick x values and get the corresponding y values. When we pick values, in this case, I would pick, let's say, 0 in the middle and pick 1 and 2, negative 1, negative 2. 5 points are really enough. So we're going to find their corresponding y values. When x is 2, substitute 2 in here. You get 2 square plus 1. 4 plus 1, 5. When you substitute the 1 in, 1 square plus 1 is 2. 0 square plus 1 is 1. Negative 1 square plus 1 is 2. So that's a 2. And this will be 5. I'm going to write a note here down there. When we say x squared, we mean the whole x being squared, like that. So when you substitute negative 2 in, you substitute negative 2 within the parentheses. So that gives us 0, 1, negative 1, 2, negative 2, 5, 1, 2, 2, 5, so that's the parabola. Is it okay? Okay, so we can move on. One thing we would like to learn in this section, it's about compounded interest. If a principal P So we have the formula says A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. P is the principal. This is the amount you try to invest. R is the rate that is offered to you. N is the number of times per year. So if they say monthly means 12 times, N equals 12. If they say compounded annually means N is 1. Semi-annually means N is 2. T is the time in years. And A is the final amount. A is the final amount. To look at an example on this, let's say Mike invested $1,000 into a savings account. Offering 2.75% compounded quarterly. How much is in the account at the end of year 3? So first, I always write down the formula. P times 1 plus R over N, NT. And I'm going to see what is given. So the principal P is 1,000. The rate is 2.75%, which can be written as 0.0275. If you divide 2.75 by 100, that's what percent means. You will get 0.0275. T is the time in years, which is 3 years. N is how many times compounded per year. So it says compounded quarterly. That's 4 times. So from the given information, I was able to list down everything I need. And now A equals, the principal is 1,000. 1 plus R is 0.0275. N is 4. I'm just substituting them one step at a time. 4 times T is the 3. T is 3. And now how are we going to calculate this? Of course, with any simple calculator, you can do this. The 1,000, 1 plus. First thing you do this part, you divide them. And I'm dividing right now. It's giving me 0.006875. 3 times 4 on the top is 12. Keep the 1,000 the same. This is 1.006875 to the 12. So I added these together. Now we do the exponent part, and that gave me 1.085692139. If you multiply that out, you got 1085.692139. Which can be rounded to 2 decimal places. You get A is approximately equals to $1,085.69. So the amount will grow from 1,000 to 1,085.69. Any questions about this? Let me give you one and you try it on your own. A similar example with the principal of 25,000 instead of 1,000, rate of 3.25%, compounded monthly, for 5 years. We would like to find the final amount. Let's write down the formula first. That's the first thing we do, is A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. The principal is 25,000, 1 plus. Rate is, that rate becomes 0.0325. N is how many times? Monthly means N is 12 and T is 5. So the first thing I'm gonna do, as I'm doing right now, is do the division. A equals 25,000, 1 plus 0.002708, right? 3333 to the 60th power. Keep the 25,000 as is. We add these together, 1.002708 and 4 threes. Then 25,000, multiply that by 1.176189931. And then we multiply this answer by 2,500. That gives us 2940.474828, which can be approximated as A is about $29,040, $2,940. Wait, something wrong. Oh, there's one more decimal point here. So it's $29,440.45. We got people like Roberto got almost the same, and Ronnie. If you got that answer like on the test or something, that's okay, but try to get it the way I wrote it. Anyone has any questions about this?
I had one question. Do you always have to include the money sign?
It would be best because you started with 25,000, so the final amount should be in what, like dollars, cents? That's why. More professional. Any questions for me about this?
Not right now.
Okay, if no questions, that's what this section is about, is graphing straight lines, substituting values in, and learning about the compound interest formula, how to get it. So basically what this tells us, this tells you how far or how much money you're going to have after X number of years based on the rate and the compounded term. So here, so what that means here is that your money started at 25,000. After 3 years, and based on the information, it's going to grow up to 29,400 something. So this means you're going to make about $4,404 or $5 after 3 years. Any questions about this for me?